Hey y'all, welcome back to another speed building video. Today we are building for my save file, and if you didn't know, I have been working on this save file for quite a while now, where I am filling up all of Newcrest with just like fun lots, mostly family homes, but also some community lots, things like that, and it's entirely base game, so anybody can download it once it's finished, or you can go ahead and download the finished lots that I've done so far off of the gallery. My gallery ID, actually, it's easier if you just search the hashtag AliciaSims, so if you want to get this build or any of my other finished builds, just search the hashtag AliciaSims on the gallery and you should be able to find it there. But anyway, the idea behind this build was honestly just based on the idea that I wanted it to have two bump outs upstairs with a balcony in between them. I just thought that would be so cute to have like a little sitting space. Oh, sorry, I just bonked my desk. But I thought it would be so cute to have just like a little seating area, maybe with a grill or like just somewhere to read and sit and enjoy like the fresh air. So that was honestly the only idea I had going into this. I didn't even know that I was going to be building a base game build or that I was going to be building for my save file at all. Really what happened was I finished with the shape of the build and I just thought, you know what, this would fit so well in this one lot in my save file that I have been trying to fill for a long time but just can't figure out how to fill it. So I decided to move this. You'll see in a second I move it from this lot to the other Newcrest lot called Oak Alcove, because here I am moving it. This lot in my save file is sort of near where the fancier neighborhood is going to be, with like these bigger lots, bigger homes, sort of like mansions, but this lot's like 30 by 20, I want to say, so it's a little bit smaller, and I wanted to figure out something that like wouldn't clash too much with these big fancy mansions, but also wouldn't be like too small. Do you know what I mean? Like the size of the lot kind of freaked me out a little bit because it's so different from the surrounding lots. But I just thought this one would be perfect because it's got kind of a classic look, you know, and it's not too suburban. So I thought it would fit perfectly here. Anyway, I have sort of finished the entire shape of this build as well as the wallpapers and the windows and things like that, so I've kind of talked through a lot of that, but let me just give you a little bit of an idea of what I was thinking, what I think is worth mentioning now. I just thought that it would be nice to use a sort of light color for the siding, like nothing too vibrant. So I went with this really pale green siding that is from base game. Obviously this is a base game build, everything's from base game, but I thought it was so nice. Like it's like a really pretty color, but it's not too in your face, so I thought that would be lovely. And then I would just pair it with this like white grayish brick that's really, you know, what's the word, like really subtle, which I liked. And I just thought, you know, leaning into the green vibe, I would add some planter boxes, and then I added I kind of combined two planter boxes together to make it look like it was sort of overflowing and overgrown with all of these plants. And then I just decided to go full out and make this like a very overgrown build. So I went ahead and tried to add some wall growing vines sort of going up the side of the building there. The plants that I chose to use that with, I don't know if I would choose those again, to be honest, just because they are a little chunky and I did have to sort of work around a lot of clipping. They sort of like clip into the house a little bit, so I did kind of have to work around that, and I don't know if I would choose them again, but I do kind of like the way that it turned out. Just like the look is cute and it just kind of looks like, you know, the landscaping has been left for quite a while and it's kind of just started to overtake the front yard and sort of climb up the house. So I thought that was like a pretty cute look, and I am pretty pleased with the landscaping in this build. You know, the selection is a little limited in base game, but I decided to sort of like explore new options. So I've taken this tree and I've sized it down very small to make it look like a bush. I thought that was kind of creative, you know. proud of myself for being creative there, but I just thought that made like a really nice sort of versatile bush. I'm probably going to use that again. And then I just paired it with, you know, the usual, what are those called? There's a word for them, but those really nice, colorful flowers that come with the base game and like every single pack. You know what, the name is escaping me, so I'm just going to move on. But I do go back later and actually touch up the landscaping a little bit more. And then I also add some in the backyard. But anyway, we are here on the interior now, and as you can see, I've decided to go with that pale green color again for the walls. I don't know, it just like spoke to me, and I figured like, what's wrong with having like the same color on the inside as on the outside, you know? Plus I always go with neutral wallpapers, like always, so I figured I would switch it up today because why not? And yeah, pretty simple living room. You've got your television, and the TV stand is actually custom. I went ahead and grabbed 2 upper cabinets in the smallest size that they come in and sort of just like put them towards the bottom of the wall and raised a television up to make it look like it's sitting there on this sort of like floating TV stand. So I thought that was pretty cute. I think I've seen Little Simsy do that before. I think that's where I learned to do that, so I can't take credit for that idea, but I think she's probably not the only one who's done that. I want to say I've seen Simlissy do that as well. Anyway, I don't know who the credit goes to, but it doesn't go to me. And I went with these sort of like slightly industrial looking sofas. I hesitate to say industrial because like I use them in every single kind of build. I use them in suburban builds all the time. I think they're so versatile. So they're like not only industrial, but I think maybe that was the original intention when they made those sofas. But I can't help it. I use them everywhere. I think they are so versatile. And then now I'm just working on a little accent table, adding a bit of clutter. I was originally thinking that I would put a mirror centered above the table. I do that a lot. That's like a go-to for me. But I figured I would branch out and just try to clutter it without a mirror. You know, I thought I would add some big canvases instead. And I really did like the look of that. And I like that it's, you know, slightly different. I am branching out, so hopefully not all of my builds look identical. But yeah, that was kind of where I got the idea for the sim that was going to live in this house. I know that's like such a silly thing, like I place down 2 canvases and then I suddenly know the identity of the sim, but I just figured like, why not have an artist live here, you know? And I figured like they could also be into gardening, which could explain like the beautiful landscaping in this lot, but you know, also sorry. I'm like kind of tripping over my words today, but actually this is probably one of the smoothest voiceovers I've done in a while. A lot of times I have to stop and restart like a bunch in the beginning because I just like, I don't know, I just like forget how to talk, especially in the mornings. But for some reason this one's going kind of smoothly, so I'm just gonna keep going and pretend like I didn't just mess up. But yeah, I feel like sometimes I get stuck in this trap of like giving my sim one hobby. You know what I mean? Like this sim is an artist, period, nothing else. So I'm branching out. You guys will be very impressed to know that I am doing 2 hobbies for this sim, okay? Doubling my usual number of hobbies. This sim is a gardener and an artist. So there you go. Anyway, I am making just a very simple kitchen right now. I guess it does have a bit of a fun shape because it's got sort of 2 bump outs on either side. In one of them I decided to put the sink and the fridge, and then in the other you've got like coffee maker and microwave. Sorry, I forgot the word for microwave for a second. And then, you know, you've got the oven on this long wall. And you may have seen I was thinking of doing like a green stone backsplash throughout the whole kitchen. That was a bit of an extreme choice, and I didn't end up going with that. I decided to sort of like scale it back a little bit and go with this sort of like plain beigey stone for the backsplash, and then the rest of the walls that aren't necessarily like behind appliances, I just went with like a plain white wallpaper. So that's a bit different from my usual kitchens because I like never use wallpaper in kitchens for some reason, which is weird because my kitchen growing up had a bunch of wallpaper except for behind the oven where it was all tile. But I don't know, in The Sims for some reason I have this mental block where I'm like, the kitchens need to be entirely tile. But anyway, I'm glad I didn't go with that green stone because I feel like that would have been a little too on the nose, and this would have become like a greenhouse instead of like a house with some green accents, you know? Anyway, now we are upstairs working on this bedroom space, and I have to say the layout of this bedroom is so quirky. It is like the weirdest shape ever, but I kind of love it. Like I feel like I get bored of the same shape bedroom, just doing the same shape over and over again, so I don't know, when I was doing the floor plan and I saw like the only way to make the bedroom work was to make the shape super, super quirky, I wasn't even mad. I was like, okay, this sounds like a fun challenge. So, yeah, and it was. So you've got like the sort of main rectangle, I guess, where you've got the bed and the side tables and things like that. And then there's like a little bump out where you've got the door to the ensuite, and there's a like dresser right next to it as well. And then there's another bump out that is like very skinny and long, and that's where I put an art easel because the Sim is an artist, like I said, and some canvases, and like I put that sad clown painting in there. And I have to be honest, I think that's the first time I've ever used that painting in a build. I don't know, it's just like so jarring to me, but it like almost fit the color scheme of the room, which was so weird to me that I was like, okay, I guess I have to use this now. And I just thought that would be fun. You know, like an artist would probably have that in their home, you know, like some weird sad clown art. Anyway, moving on to this long hallway space that we also have upstairs, I went ahead and added another easel just so we could really, you know, send the message that this is an artist and they like art. But seriously though, I feel like you could have like a couple different paintings going at the same time. For realism, I feel like that's pretty realistic. Like, who finishes a whole project in one sitting? Not me. I'm like a back and forth girly. I like start a million things and then like don't finish any of them. So bit of realism there. I also decorated the what is that called? The little balcony. It's just got a chair, a little seating area, and then I went ahead and decorated the ensuite as well. Just so you know, there is another bathroom downstairs. I just cut out the footage because, you know, I don't like to show multiple bathrooms in my speed builds. I don't know if that's peer pressure or something. Like, I think I saw other people doing that and I was just like, okay, I'll do that too. But it does help to kind of make my videos shorter, which honestly is kind of nice because I have a hard time thinking of things to say during my voiceovers, so the shorter the better. But anyway, I have added a bench to this front porch, and I am working now on sort of like zhuzhing up the existing landscaping. I like came back outside and I was like, if this is gonna be an overgrown home, I feel like I should overgrow it a little bit more and add a few more plants and little flowers and things like that. So that's what I did. I also added a mailbox, of course. It's kind of behind a rock a little bit, so to be honest, I'm not 100% sure if that is functional. I did playtest this home. I just didn't playtest the mailbox. So if you can't reach it, I'm so sorry. You'll have to just scoot it out a little bit. That should be a pretty easy fix. But yeah, sorry about that. Anyway, now we are moving on to the backyard, and it's pretty simple. I add some trash cans. I accidentally added 3 debug trash cans that are not functional at all. So when I was playtesting, I made sure to switch one of those for a real functional trash can. So don't worry. Anyway, I think I already mentioned this, but again, if you're interested in downloading this build or any of my other builds, just search the hashtag AliciaSims on the gallery. And if you like this video, leave a like. It would help me out a lot. If you don't like this video, leave a dislike. I do not mind. What else? Oh yeah, subscribe for more videos like this. I've been trying to post 2 videos a week. Can you hear that? I'm just curious if you can hear that. A siren just went by. So anyway, focus. Alicia, focus. What was I even saying? Oh yeah, you can subscribe if you want, because I've been trying to post videos on the regular and I've been pretty successful, aside from the occasional, the occasional slip up where I totally forget that this channel exists and I forget to post for like 2 weeks. But usually I post 2 videos a week. And if you have any suggestions for what you might like to see, leave those below. But anyway, yeah, we are just finishing up the backyard now, doing a little pool. I was originally thinking of doing like a octagonal pool, or maybe it's a hexagon, I don't know, but I didn't really love the shape of it, and I felt like there wasn't really room for any lounge chairs or anything, so I ended up switching it to this sort of like rectangle with a chunk taken out of it, and I actually really like the shape of it, so hopefully you do too. And now I'm just adding a few more skill building items. As we've established very thoroughly, this sim likes art and gardening, so I am leaving both another easel, the third one, so 3 easels total on this lot, and also 2 gardening patches for their second hobby. I put a little watering can and other gardening stuff too, just for a little bit of detail. Anyway, that's pretty much it for this build, so see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye!